So it was going to happen eventually, and it finally did. Spider-Man No Way Home, no longer number one. After 5 weeks, after 5 long, glorious weeks at number one, Scream actually came around and took the number one spot from Spider-Man No Way Home. Hey guys, how you guys doing? I am Robert Storms. As always, if you're finding me for the very first time, please do me a massive favor. Smash that like button, subscribe, that way you guys can stay up to date on all future content here on the channel. So let's go over and take a look at the actual numbers here, and you can see Scream took the number one spot, bringing in $30.6 million on its opening weekend. Spider-Man No Way Home dropping to number two with a respectable $20.8 million, only dropping 36.2% in its 5th week in theaters. Like, that's insane. Like, people really don't understand like how insane that is. The movie's been at number one for 5 weeks. That's over a month. Number one. There just hasn't been no competition. Like, when you look at the competition, like what competition is there? Sing 2? Well, okay, yeah, that might be, kids movies, but Spider-Man is also a kid movie. The 355 got horrible reviews. The Kingsman, I'm looking super forward to seeing that movie, but even I forgot that movie was even coming out. Then American Underdog, that's a smaller movie. West Side Story flopped. Licorice Pizza is one of those artsy films that doesn't have like a lot of people. And then you started going to like these, like Ghostbusters, that's been around for over 2 months, and then The Matrix Resurrection, which just was a train wreck of a movie, had never had a chance against Spider-Man No Way Home. Never. So then we start looking at Scream is going to take the number one spot because people love Scream. They do. And there hasn't been a Scream movie in over 10 years. So people were going to go check it out, see what they were going to do. It was the first movie without Wes Craven directing it. So it took the number one spot, but only by $10 million for a movie that's been in theaters for 5 weeks now. So let's go ahead and look at Spider-Man No Way Home. Worldwide right now is saying at $1.6 billion, which is insane. $698 million here domestically, and internationally $926 million, with a very, very good $1.6 billion. That's an insane amount of money for a movie that's post-COVID, and it just goes to show you, if it's a movie that people want to see, they're gonna go out and see it. So all this stuff going, well, it's post-COVID, people don't want to, no, bitch, look at that, bitch, look at that. If you put out a movie that people actually want to go see, so Eternals, Shang-Chi, Black Widow got screwed over by Disney Plus, but even Black Widow probably wouldn't have made anywhere near $1 billion anyway. But all those movies where people like me, and I'm calling myself out on this one, going, well, it's post-COVID, people really don't. Motherfucker, look at Spider-Man. Number one, 5 weeks straight, and grossed $1.6 billion. Nah, I don't want to hear nothing about that anymore. No way. From now on, if a movie doesn't perform because the audience don't want to go see it, it's that simple. It's that simple. Spider-Man came out and all that shit. You know how every time a movie like starts to go bad, it's comic fatigue. Oh, Justice League didn't perform because of comic fatigue. Oh, BVS didn't perform because it was comic fatigue. Well, why is there comic fatigue, but Marvel is putting out billion-dollar movies? So now when Shang-Chi and all that stuff starts going on, people like to throw out the COVID card. Oh, Shang-Chi and Eternals didn't perform because of COVID. Oh, Black Widow didn't perform because of COVID. No, like, bitch, what? Look at that. Look at this. COVID my ass. People just wanted to see a good movie. No one is hyped to go see Shang-Chi. No one was hyped to go see Eternals. I was, but the like average Joe on the street and his mom and grandmother weren't excited to go see those movies. People know who Spider-Man is. People wanted to go see this because they heard all the rumors about Andrew and Toby. So like, it makes sense. So on the flip side of that, Spider-Man No Way Home, we can all sit there and we can all agree, massive success. Massive success. And Scream coming in at number one, I think we also can agree it was going to happen. No movie was going to stay at number one forever. And Scream was one of those properties that has a nice following. And like I'm saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised next week if the roles flop. If Spider-Man is back to number one. Because Spider-Man keeps on the trend of just dropping 30%. Spider-Man probably be at 15 million next week. Scream will drop about 50% because every movie from week 1 to week 2 drops about 50%. Even Spider-Man dropped like 60%. And Scream will probably be bringing in around, I don't know, 14, 15 million as well. And then whatever new movie comes out this weekend, I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what comes out this weekend. It has to make at least 14 to 15 million. Spider-Man, I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man No Way Home is number 1 again next week. Would not be surprised if Spider-Man isn't number 1 again next week. And I think this is another reason why Sony pushed Morbius back to April. Because why are you going to put another movie in when you're competing with yourself? If Morbius would have came out in January, it would be competing with Spider-Man still. Why would you put out Morbius to compete with Spider-Man when Spider-Man is still cleaning up the box office? Just doesn't make sense. So it makes more sense, yes, push that back to April. We had an up case in COVID. Morbius probably isn't going to super perform like Spider-Man. So you add that with COVID, yeah, boom, just leave that in April. Let Spider-Man keep cleaning up all the little dimes and nickels at the box office. Get every last drop out of the audience. And then when that's finally gone, then you bring in Morbius. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised next week, guys. Could be wrong, but this was going to flip. Spider-Man No Way Home will probably be back at number 1. And then whatever the new release movie is, probably going to be number 2 with Scream coming down to number 3. That's my predictions. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I'm just kind of going by what I see with the pattern that I'm looking at. But I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment in the comment box below. Tell me what you think. Have you seen Scream? Have you seen Spider-Man? Are you surprised that Scream took over Spider-Man? Leave those comments in the comment box below. Until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.